So I was looking at my bank account the other day, and don't worry, I won't bore you with the actual numbers.
Oh.
But I had this distinct feeling, you know that feeling when you're playing a board game and everyone else seems to know all the rules, but you lost that little pamphlet that came in the box. And you're just kind of moving pieces around, hoping nobody notices you have no idea what you're doing.
The imposter syndrome of personal finance, it's so common.
Yes.
Most people feel like they're just rolling the dice while everyone else is playing some kind of 4D chess.
That is it, exactly. We treat money like this chaotic force of nature that just happens to us. But today, we're looking at a source that says basically stop. Stop acting like a victim of the chaos. It's time to pick up the controller. We are doing a deep dive into the Money Game Strategy Hub.
It's a bit of a mouthful, that title. But it really does a lot of the heavy lifting. This is a YouTube platform, a resource created by Tannen Kunkamidi.
The Money Game Strategy Hub by Tannen Kunkamidi. Okay, I'll be honest with you. When I first saw Money Game, my eyes kind of rolled back a little bit.
I get that.
It felt trivial. You know,
Yeah.
my mortgage isn't monopoly money. The stakes are real. If I lose this game, I don't just flip the board over. I could lose my house.
Right.
So is calling it a game actually helpful, or is it just branding fluff?
I'm really glad you brought that up because that skepticism is, I think, very healthy. If we just treat it as fun, we're completely missing the point.
Okay.
Tannen isn't using game to mean trivial. He's using it to mean a system.
A system.
Yeah, think about it. What defines any game?
Rules, objectives.
Rules, objectives, obstacles. And this is the most important part, a win condition.
Okay, so it's less about having fun with your money and more about understanding the mechanics behind it.
Precisely. Or, well, let's go even a bit deeper than that. It's about agency.
Agency.
When you view your finances as a chore, you're passive. You're just trying to survive the month, you know?
Just getting through it.
But when you view it as a game, you become an active player. You have stats, your net worth, your credit score, you have an inventory to your assets, and you have an opponent.
The opponent being, what? The IRS.
Well, sometimes. But usually the opponent is just the environment. Inflation is like a constant damage over time effect eating away at your health bar.
Right.
Market volatility is a randomized event. Your own impulse spending, that's a debuff you basically put on yourself. Tannen Kunkamidi's whole premise is that you can't win if you don't even acknowledge that you're on the playing field.
So we're in the game whether we like it or not.
We are.
We're just, for the most part, playing it badly.
We're button mashing, we're panicking, we're pressing jump when we should be pressing duck. And that brings us to the second, and I'd argue more critical, part of the source's title.
Okay.
It's not just the money game. It is a strategy hub.
I do want to dig into that word strategy because in the finance world, that word gets thrown around like confetti.
Oh, for sure.
Here's my strategy for saving 10 cents on lattes. Is that really a strategy?
No, of course not. That's a tactic. And the distinction there is everything.
Okay.
This is where most people get stuck. And it's what this source is trying to correct. A tactic is, I bought Apple stock because my cousin told me to. A strategy is understanding why that stock fits into your overall portfolio, your overall deck.
Ah, it's the difference between throwing a random punch and actually knowing how to box.
Right, exactly. If you look at Tannen's approach, a strategy hub implies a long-term build.
A build.
Yeah, in gaming terms, are you building a tank character?
Yeah.
Someone who can take a lot of hits, very conservative, safe assets? Or are you building a glass cannon? High risk, massive potential damage, but if the market even sneezes, you get wiped out.
That makes a lot of sense. But here's the problem I have, and I think a lot of our listeners have it too. The meta changes.
It always does.
To use another gaming term, right? The effective strategy changes. 2 years ago, crypto was the cheat code. Then it was a trap. Now it's all about AI. How does the strategy hub help when the rules of the game keep getting patched?
That is the crucial question. It really is. And that's why the hub part of the title is so important. A static book, for example, can't help you with a patch update.
It's outdated the second it's printed.
Exactly. If the Federal Reserve changes interest rates, that's a server-side update. The rules just change for everyone. A hub implies a living, breathing resource.
So it's not a textbook. It's more like a command center.
Think of it as the difference between, say, a newsfeed and a library. A newsfeed like TikTok or X. It's fragmented.
So fragmented.
You get one guy screaming, buy gold, and the next guy screaming, gold is dead. It's just noise.
Uh-huh.
A hub is centralized. It connects the dots. It says, okay, the Fed raised rates. Here's how that impacts your mortgage strategy, which then connects to your investment strategy. It demands system thinking, not just reacting.
It prevents you from getting whiplash because I feel like I get financial whiplash every single time I open a news app.
And that whiplash causes you to make bad moves. You sell at the bottom because you're scared, or you buy at the top because of FOMO. A strategy hub is designed to be the save point.
A save point.
It's where you go to regroup, look at the map, and decide your next move based on logic, not on emotion.
Let's talk about the guy running this hub, Tannen Kunkamidi. He puts his name right on the door. The Money Game Strategy Hub by Tannen Kunkamidi.
Yep, right there.
In this era of like faceless automated investment apps and AI advisors, why does the specific human behind it matter?
I think it boils down to trust
Yeah.
and accountability.
Okay.
When you play a game, especially a complex one, you watch streamers or pros who have mastered it. You want to see their screen. You want to know what they're doing.
Right. You want the walkthrough from someone who has actually beaten the level, not someone who just read the instructions.
Exactly. Tannen isn't just an aggregator of information. He's the guild leader.
Yeah.
He's saying, this is my philosophy.
Ah.
And that allows you to decide if his playstyle matches yours. If he's a high-risk player and you're conservative, maybe you learn from him, but you don't copy him. But you need that human filter to interpret the raw data of the market.
It's funny because following a guru has such a bad reputation. It sounds a little culty.
It can be, for sure. But notice he doesn't call it the Tannen Kunkamidi cult. He calls it a strategy hub. The focus is on the tool set, not just the personality. He's providing the framework, the HUD, if you will, for you to play your own game.
The heads-up display. I like that. So instead of just seeing this terrifying bank balance, I'm seeing
What?
resource bar.
You're seeing resource allocation. Let's make this concrete. Say you have $1,000
Okay.
to a non-player that's just rent money, maybe a new TV, to a player in the money game using this strategy hub. That $1,000 is a unit of energy. You can deploy it to defense your emergency fund. You can deploy it to attack investing, or you can use it to upgrade your character education skills.
Upgrading your character. Wow. That's actually a huge mental shift. Spending money on a course isn't just spending, it's leveling up your skill tree so you can earn more later on.
Yes, exactly. And what's debt? Debt is a debuff. It drains your stamina. High interest debt is like walking through a poison swamp.
Right.
It just takes away your health every second. The strategy hub would tell you, get out of the swamp before you even think about fighting the dragon.
But some people say, hey, leverage is good. Debt is a tool.
And that is absolutely advanced gameplay. Speedrunners use damage boosting to go faster. Real estate investors use debt to build wealth. But if you try that level 50 move when you're at level 1,
You get crushed.
you get game over. And that's why the hub structure is so vital. It organizes knowledge by level. You don't try to short the yen before you know how to budget for your groceries.
This brings me to a thought about who this is for, the listener of this source.
Right.
Who is Tannen talking to? Is this for the person who is already wealthy and just like keeping score? Or is it for the person who is currently losing?
I think the game framing is actually most powerful for the person who feels like they're losing.
Oh, really? Why is that? I would think losing a game is just frustrating. I mean, I've rage quit plenty of times.
Because games offer a path to redemption. In real life, if you're broke, you feel like a failure. It becomes a moral judgment.
Yeah, I am bad with money.
It becomes part of your identity. But in a game, if you lose, you don't think I am a failure. You think my strategy was wrong.
Huh.
You tweak your loadout. You try a different approach. You try again. It detaches your self-worth from your net worth.
That is really profound. It turns I am a failure into I made a tactical error.
And tactical errors can be fixed. You consult the hub, you learn a better strategy, and you respawn. Well, your bank account doesn't exactly respawn, but your behavior does.
I do want to push back on one thing, though. In a video game, everybody starts with the same health, the same basic equipment.
A level playing field, yeah.
In the money game, that is definitely not true. Some people start with a trust fund, that's basically a cheat code. And some people start on hard mode, with student loans and no safety net. Does the strategy hub acknowledge that the game isn't fair?
That is the elephant in the room, isn't
Okay.
it? And you're right, the game is absolutely not balanced. It's pay to win in a lot of aspects.
So what's the point?
A good strategy hub doesn't deny that reality. It has to acknowledge the difficulty setting you started on.
So it doesn't just say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
No, a true strategy resource says, okay, you spawn at a difficult zone, you have low resources, here is the optimal play for that specific situation. The strategy for a trust fund kid is completely different from the strategy for a single parent.
Right.
The game metaphor holds up because even on hard mode, there are optimal moves and there are suboptimal moves.
And playing optimally on hard mode is still way better than just giving up.
Much better. In fact, giving up is the only way to truly guarantee a loss. If you just let the current take you, you will drown. If you swim, even if the current is against you, you have a chance. Tannen's hub seems designed to teach you how to swim, regardless of how deep the water is when you jump in.
Let's talk about the medium for a second. YouTube, we touched on it, but why is this hub on YouTube? Why not a book or a paid course?
Accessibility and engagement. We learn visually now, that's a huge part of it. But I think more importantly, a YouTube channel creates a feedback loop.
In the comments.
In the comments section of a strategy hub, you have other players.
Oh, right. The multiplayer aspect.
You can see what worked for other people. You can see them asking questions you didn't even think to ask. It turns what feels like a solitary struggle into a community raid.
It creates a guild.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that combats the shame. Money shame thrives in isolation. It just withers and dies in community. If you see 10,000 views on a video about how to recover from credit card debt, you realize 10,000 other players are on the exact same quest.
So we've got the mindset, which is the game. We've got the plan, the strategy, and the resource, the hub. If one of our listeners wants to actually start using this today, what is the first step? Do they just go and watch a video?
Watching is passive. And remember, we want to be players, not spectators.
Good point.
The very first step is to open up the HUD.
The heads-up display. Okay. Translate that for me into real life.
Calculate your net worth.
Yeah.
Assets minus liabilities. That's your score.
Oof. That can be a really scary number to look at.
It's terrifying. It can be. But you cannot play the game if you don't know your own stats. Once you have that number, and it might be a negative number, that's okay. That's just your starting coordinate on the map.
And
Then you go to the hub, whether it's Tannen's channel or another trusted source, and you look for the strategy that matches your level.
So don't look for the level 50 real estate mogul strategy if you're at level 1 credit card debt.
Correct. Find the level 1 walkthrough, master that, then you unlock level 2.
I love that idea of unlocking financial freedom. It makes the grinding feel worth it. Because let's be honest, budgeting is a grind. It's repetitive. It can be boring.
It is a grind. But in games, we grind because we want the reward. We want the shiny armor, the epic weapon.
Right.
In the money game, the reward is freedom. It's options. It's the ability to say no to a boss you hate because you have 6 months of expenses saved up. That is a superpower.
That's the ultimate buff, the forget you money buff.
The strongest buff in the game.
So, as we look at Tannen Kunkamiti's contribution here, do you think this gamification trend is going to stick around? Or is it just a flavor of the month?
I think it's necessary for the next generation. I really do. The old advice, save 10% and wait 40 years, it just doesn't resonate when the economy feels so broken and unpredictable.
It feels out of touch.
Gamification gives people a sense of control in what feels like an uncontrollable world. It turns anxiety into a challenge. As long as people feel anxious about money, the game perspective is going to be valuable.
It basically weaponizes our dopamine addiction for something good instead of just scrolling social media.
It hijacks the part of your brain that wants to win, and it points it directly at your 401k. And that is a very, very powerful redirection of energy.
So to wrap this all up, we started by asking if money is a burden or a game. And I think we've landed on the idea that it's a game, but it's maybe the most hardcore, permadeath, high-stakes game you will ever play.
And you are automatically enrolled at birth. You can't opt out.
You can't opt out. You can only choose to play well or to play poorly. And the Money Game Strategy Hub is essentially the strategy guide you wish you had when you turned 18.
It's the manual the developers forgot to include in the box.
So here's my final thought for everyone listening. And I want you to be really honest with yourself. In the vast, complex economy of the world, are you the main character of your own financial life? Or are you just an NPC?
A non-playable character.
Just walking around in the background of someone else's game, buying what they tell you to buy, working where they tell you to work?
That's a haunting question. I mean, being an NPC is safe, but you have zero agency.
Tannen Kunkamiti is offering a way to become the main character, but you have to be willing to learn the controls.
And you have to be willing to press start.
Thanks for deep diving with us. Go check your stats, and we'll see you on the next level.
Game on.